In today's tutorial we're going to learn how to do the twist. It's a great free hat pattern available by Yarnspirations.com, and today we're going to learn how to do it together. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to learn how to do the twist, and this is without the pom-pom on top. The pattern does show pom-pom, and you can do that if you wish. And this is a great pattern for using back post and front post double crochets in order to create the twist. And so you'll notice that it pops out towards you, and then it jets back down, and then it comes up again. It looks like a lightning rod, so when you go to look at the pattern just like this, you see that it pops out and then it comes over and then it jets back up. This is really quite an interesting and really quite an easy pattern to work with. Now also what I did is that I made some diagrams in order to help me. So you can see this here in the highlighting is been done on front post double crochet, and the rest of it is back post double crochet, and I did it for the complete pattern, and I'm gonna provide this information on the crochetcrowd.com underneath this article, and this is what it looks like here in order to kind of create it, and it's really a very easy pattern to be able to follow. So without further ado, I'm going to be substituting my yarn today, and I'm using a Bernat Super Value yarn instead of a Caron Simply Soft. I find it's great yarn to work with, and of course you can substitute your yarns as long as your hook matches and matches the yarn. So the Caron Simply Soft line has a lot of great colors available to you, and so you may want to do that one or the Bernat Super Value, depending on whatever you have access to. So without further ado, let's start discovering this pattern and looking at the brim first. To start with, we need to create the brim, and the brim has to be 18 inches in length, and because of the way that we are crocheting this is that it is doing the slip stitching, it has a lot of elasticity to it, and it will really form to the head beautifully when you're wearing it, and it's the same on both sides. It looks like it's knitting, but it's actually done in crochet. So I'm gonna show you how to do this, and then we'll come back and then I will carry on. So let's begin to work on the brim together, and I want you to create a slip knot, and I want you to use your hook. It's a 5mm size H crochet hook, and insert the hook into the slip knot. What we need to do to start is that we need to chain 13, and we're gonna do so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And you're gonna say to yourself, oh my goodness, that's a huge brim, but watch, this is what 13 looks like. It's gonna compact itself, so don't be all panicky yet. So what we want to do is turn the chain around, and we want to get the from the second chain, and we'll just get the back loop only and just start slip stitching. So pull through and through. Be relaxed about this. Slip stitching can be very tight if you allow it to be, so just kind of glide your hook in, yarn over, have no tension coming from the ball, and you will have success each and every time. So this is kind of easy, but each one of the rows going forward now until you get to 18 inches long will all be slip stitching in the back loop only, and I'll explain that in just a moment. So let me just get to the end of this row. The key trick to making these brims is making sure you're not gonna grab any extra plies when you're going to do it. So making sure that you're, see how I just kind of dropped one there? Just make sure that you got all your plies in there. It's not hard to make sure you got all your plies, but if you accidentally get too many or you drop one, it's very noticeable in this particular design. So you'll notice that the brim just kind of compacted itself down for the length of it, and you're just gonna continue. Okay, so you can see this is what it looks like. So let's show you how to carry on in doing the back loop for the slip stitching. So at this point we see our stitches across, and let me just pull out the hook. If you're a new crocheter, when you have two strands and your hook goes behind them, that is considered one stitch. If you are looking at the stitch closest to you, the one strand closest to you, that's the front loop, and the one behind is the back loop. So the trick to this is once you get to the end, it's how you turn it. So you don't want to turn it like this. Okay, for this particular project you want to continue and just kind of just chain up one and just kind of come in sideways to the first one like this and slip stitch, and then just kind of manipulate it in your hand. It's the easiest way to get started. So you're just gonna continue and go into the back loop only every one you do. That's all this is. Now because this is gonna take you about an hour and a half to do this particular brim of 18 inches, so just put on a pot of coffee and a good movie and just relax and just kind of do the slip stitching. It is well worth the time. The way that this looks in the final project is really, it really truly is. So it's just a matter of getting used to it in order to make these kind of brims. There's a lot of hats with these kind of brims, and because of that, if you can just practice, practice makes perfect. And so you're just gonna slip stitch yourself across. Now I'm going a little bit slower than I normally would if I was watching TV, but I want to slow it down for you so you can completely understand. So the trick is how you turn it after you're done each and every row, and I'm gonna show you that once again, like so. And here's the last one. So the trick is that you gotta make sure and that you're always getting into the back loop only, and you gotta make sure once in a while that you still only have 12. So there, remember that we chained 13? Well, because we went second chain from the hook, there's only 12. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. If there is ever any you go to 11, you're gonna notice it. If you go more and you add one by accident, you're gonna notice it. So you want to keep just a count once in a while to make sure that you stay balanced. So when you go to turn it, just don't turn it this way, turn it forward towards you, keep it to the side, chain 1, and just go into the back post like this, and then you can kind of officially turn it from that point. Okay, it's all in that first turn on how difficult it's gonna be for you, and if you do it that way, then it becomes a no-brainer, and then you'll have a perfect brim going forward. So your goal now is to get this to be 18 inches long, and when I come back I'll have that done for you, and I'll show you how some tips for being able to fasten that off, and also give you some tips if you would prefer to sew it as well. That's up to you. It doesn't really matter each way you do it, because I'm just gonna give you advice on if you're gonna sew it or if you're going to just carry on with the same yarn strand. And I'll join you back here after we have 18 inches done. So I have my 18 inches done, and I'm gonna show you two ways. Now this is the 5-star beanie, and it's an amazing hat, and I noticed in here in the brim that I did not get a great seam line, and that's just because of my own stupidity, I think. So what we have to do, you can do it one or two ways. You can do it as it suggests in the pattern, and all you just need to do is that you need to turn your work, and you just need to join your work. So just kind of turn it and put it together like so. And all you're just gonna do is that you're going to slip stitch. So you're gonna chain 1 first. Okay, you go into the back loop only like you normally would. Okay, of this one. And what we want to do is that we want to go into the foundation row of the start over here. Okay, and I'm gonna go in the back loop of that one over there. And you can do that all the way across. So you just have to make sure you go in the back loop of the next one on the one side, and the back loop on the next one on the other side, like so. And what this will do is it'll join it together. Now if you prefer to be like me, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna put this into a darning needle instead, and I'm going to sew mine closed. And I think I can do a better job, because I think the other one I wasn't quite happy with my own work. And you don't have to do it this way. You can do it the way that the designer is asking you to do. Again, it's your own personal preference. So what I want to do is I want to feed the darning needle through the loop to lock it. And just very carefully I'm just gonna go into one of the strands and one of the strands on the other side. And I want to be able to kind of maintain this pattern here, and I just want to sew everything nice and shut together. So just going into one strand on this side, I'm going into both of the foundation strands on the other side, and I think I can get a better seam doing this. So again, this is a kind of a personal choice that's up to you, and when we come back after I get this done is that I'm gonna start showing you the process of being able to start all of the twisting action, and it's really a lot of fun. And if you have better ways of sewing things together, by all means. So yeah, so see I can already tell it's gonna be a better seam line, and maybe I'm just better with a darning needle than I am a crochet hook, who knows. Okay, so get that done, and when we come back I'll begin doing the step-by-step on doing all of the body of the hat next. When I get it all the way across, all I'm just gonna do is that I'm just gonna tie it in a little bit of a knot. Okay, and just ram it through and just nicely, and then I want to run it down the seam one direction, and then just choose a different point of entry going back in the other direction, and then just choose a different point of entry again and go in another direction, like so. Okay, and then I can just actually cut it right off at the area. So I'm more happier with this seam line than I am with the other one that I did. Now this is the starting one here, so what I'm just gonna do is that I'm gonna hide this. Now what I have seen done in the other hat tutorial is that people were actually doing a single crochet around the base of the bottom of the brim when you're wearing it. It's like the closest to your forehead. So we just want to just hide this in just some strands. So I'll just kind of pull it like that. I think I just pulled that a little too tight, and therefore I'm good to go. So now I'm ready, and that looks a lot better than it did in the original, and I'm good to go. So let's begin the next part of this tutorial. We're now going to begin doing the top area. So the brim is done, and now we're gonna do all this twisting work, and I went through with a highlighter and I highlighted all the steps that I need to do in order to do it. There's a total of 18 rounds in this 2-page pattern. Okay, and you can see what those are. Very easy to kind of follow, and it is easy to follow if you take step by step. So what I've done here is that this here is the starting of round number 1, and what we need to do is that we need to get round number 1 to be perfect before we can even think about doing any of the other 17 rounds that we have. And I just did this. I'm gonna provide a scan of this on my website, and this is what it looks like here. So if you put it on top of each other, I know the scale is a little off here because I was kind of rushing, but the hat literally will come up and then do a twist and then start up again, and these X's mean that the stitches will be missing, because what's gonna happen starting in round number 12, we're gonna start removing out stitches so that we can come to the very top of the hat. So this is gonna be like the crown coming into the top. So we're gonna start off down here. So the trick is for this particular hat is that we need to get 17 double crochets in around the top of this brim. Now you're going to notice that you probably will not get 70 stitches equally all the way around, so some of these you have to put in 2. What is the magic answer for that? Not sure. You just have to physically put in 70. So on the other hat tutorial that I did right here is that some of the ones here have 2 crochets in them, and some just have 1. So I just kind of alternated every now and then to make sure that I could get my 70 into position so that I can keep the next part of the pattern being consistent. So all we're just gonna do in the next part of this is do double crochets all the way around, starting at the back seam line, and then work our way around the front. And let me show you how to get started. So let's grab our yarn, and if you did the sewing technique, you gotta fasten on, and if you just followed the slip stitching technique that they did, you'll already be right where you should be. So the first stitch in the first chaining of 3 in all of the rounds complete for this whole thing right to the top never counts as any of the stitches. It's more of a builder, but it's not actually physically a stitch. So we're going to just join on this yarn. So we're just gonna join and chain 3. So chaining a 3 in this whole thing never counts as a stitch any way around. So what we have to do is that we have to equally space 70 double crochets into something. So when you're going all the way around, make sure you get at least 2 strands of string on top that is in this brim. If you only get 1, it'll look like it will separate from it. And every once in a while you have to put in 2 double crochets into the same spot area, because you have to get a total of 70. The trick to this whole thing is that it has to remain in groups of 10 in order to work. So I'm gonna put an extra one in this one here, and what I'm gonna do is start counting. So the first one, chaining 3, never counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 6. I'm gonna put another one there for 6, 7, and 8, 9. I'm just gonna stop at 10, 9, and 10. So all I'm just gonna do is continue all the way around. You may need to frog out if you got all the way back and you don't have your 70, and if you are ending too soon, that means that you've put too many in somewhere, so you just gotta frog it out and make sure you get your 70. Okay, so this is the only really hard part of this whole thing, is making sure you start off with your 70. So I'm coming all the way back around. Just for the record and to keep myself honest with you, it took me 2 times to actually try this, to equally space out 70 double crochets around the top. The first time I was way too short, and so I realized I was adding too many stitches in, and so I just had to let it relax a little bit more. So when you get to all the way to the end, just join it with the slip stitch, and then we're beginning to then move up to round number 2, and this is where all the action starts for doing the twist. So you're going to notice in this is that we're going to start doing front post double crochets to start with, and you'll see that the front post double crochets start growing up on an angle like this, and it goes straight up and then it starts going on an angle. And when I look at the diagram that I did over here, you can see that here's the front post double crochet all in highlighted, and it's popping out. These all are back post double crochet that are sunken down, and you'll see that it goes straight up and then it starts going to the side. So I'm going to be following these instructions. Remember, this is available on my website for this article. The link is in the more information of this video if you wish to have this. So it's gonna start off with 1 front post double crochet, and then there's gonna be 9 back post double crochet. The repeat pattern is in sets of 10. So when we had a group of 70 altogether, there's 7 repeat patterns all the way around. So this is kind of a repeat pattern right here. I did it on the other side here so I could physically see what was going on as well. So this, if you did the repeat pattern and this was extended more, you'd see that this comes down on an angle just like it would over here. So let's begin round number 2, and let's start the fun action with this project. So in round number 2 and all of the rest of the rounds, remember that the chaining 3 that we start with never counts as a stitch. So you see it right here, that's never included in anything. So just, it's like a builder, but it's there but it's not. So just don't ever include that. So we're gonna start off by chaining 3, and again that does not count as any of the stitches. We immediately come into the very first stitch here, and this first one is gonna be a front post double crochet. So we wrap the hook in through the front side of the post, coming down on the other side of the post, and double crochet. And the other 9 of the repeat pattern is all gonna be back post. So we wrap the hook coming from behind the material, and then pop that post back out, and then double crochet. There are other videos on how to back post and front post double crochet if this is not catching on. So we wrap the hook coming from the back in between the post, pushing it back out, and you're doing 9 in a row of these. So the repeat pattern on this whole thing for this round is that the first one is a front post double crochet, the rest of the 9 are going to be back post double crochet, and then you repeat again. So the first one is a front post double crochet, and the next 9 are then back posts, and you're going to do that all the way around on this particular round. So let me just get my bearings straight. So I got my first one in, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is number 7 for back post, number 8, and 9. Okay, so there is my 9 for the back post, and now we do the repeat pattern again. So the next one is a front post double crochet for the repeat, and the next 9 are back posts. Continue to do that same repeat all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way back around, so there should be 9 back post double crochets before you hit this the join. So here we go. So I got 4 in so far, and I'm doing back post double crochet, so 5. So if your counts are right, everything should work out for you at this time. Just this is kind of like the establishing row to get things started. So I do double check just to make sure I'm got it right. So let me count the back post double crochet. So I got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. That means that it's right, and then I just join it to the beginning that we have here. So we begin it to the join to the first back post double crochet. So don't join it to the chain 3. That's just a builder. If you join it to the chain 3, it becomes very obvious. So that concludes round number 2. So we can kind of see what's happening here is that we can kind of see it starting, and let's begin row number 3. Let's begin round number 3. We're going to start off with chaining a 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now this time the first 2 are going to be front post double crochet, but we only see 1 so far. So these the next one is then going to join this one here. So the first one is going to be a front post double crochet, and then the next one also, so we're going to come in and grab it from the front side to convert that over, and then the next 8 are going to be back post double crochet. Now here's the trick to this whole thing, is that this here is the start of the repeat pattern. So this one plus the next one will be a front post double crochet. So it kind of really gives you an indication of what you need to do for this entire round. So the first 2 of the repeats are going to be front post double crochet, the rest are back post double crochet until you get to the repeat that you see here. Please do that all the way around. I'll meet you back here in just a moment and we'll finalize this round off together. Just before I get all the way back around, I just want to clarify. So the first one here is the front post double crochet, so we just match it when we get to the repeat, and then the next one is also a front post double crochet. Okay, do you get that? So you're going to notice that this area here in the back post is going to start decreasing, and this front post is going to start increasing in size, just of the visual look. Okay, so I'll meet you back at the end of this row. Sorry about that, I just want to make sure I was clear. I'm coming up all the way back around, and I'm just simply doing my back post double crochets until I hit that join part once again. And I do want to verify my count before I just completely finish this round and verify it in this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have only 8 this time, which I do, and then I just join it to the top of the beginning front post double crochet. So let's begin, and we're gonna move up. So in row number 3 or number 4, sorry, we're going to do something even more cooler. In row number 4 we're gonna start by chaining 3. Now this time we're gonna add another one here, so there's gonna be now 3 front post double crochets in a row. So we're gonna get the first 2 that are already there, and the next one that's a back post, we're gonna pull it forward this time. So this time it's going to be 3 in a row, and then the remainder in this section will be back posts. So the next 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we're at the repeat again. So when you can tell because the front posts are there, so again the first 3 are going to be front post double crochets. So the 2 you can already see, and the third one you're just gonna make that one up now. So continue to do that same patterning going all the way around. So I'm coming up all the way around, and the final 7 will be back post double crochets to keep it in balance. And that's just following the repeat pattern, so there's no extra stitch work required in order to get that number. So everything is in sets of 10. And there's some tricks to this pattern, but I'm not ready to share those with you yet. I might as well show you at the time it's happening. Once you get all the way back around, which I am now, just join it to the beginning front post double crochet, and that concludes off that round. So you can see that this front post is starting to really gather, and the back posts are starting to narrow down just like it does in the pattern. Let's begin round number 5, and we're gonna start off by chaining a 3, and this time in round number 5 there's gonna be 4 front post double crochets followed by 6 back post double crochets. So we're gonna add an additional front post double crochet this time. So the first 3 are already there, and then the next one is just gonna pull from the back, and there's your 4 right there. Remember that chain 3 does not count as anything. And now the other 6 that are remaining are still going to be back post double crochet. So then you're just gonna get to the repeat pattern again. So the first 4 are front post double crochet, and the remainder of the repeat are going to be back post until you get to the next one. And this is pretty simple so far. I'm not really having to hurt any brain cells yet, and I don't think there is any brain cells to hurt in this pattern. Actually it looks a lot more complicated than it is. So here's the repeat pattern. So the first 4 are going to be front post double crochet again. So the first 3 are already visible to you. The next one is just a matter of pulling it up forward, and then the remainder are back post double crochet until the next repeat. Please do that all the way around for round number 5. When you get all the way back around, just slip stitch again to the very first front post double crochet. So we're going to start off the next round, round number 6, and this is when I'm going to share the tip with you that I said I was going to, and I was going to wait. So here we go. So let's begin round number 6. We're going to chain 3 first, and the first 5 this time are going to be front post double crochets. Okay, front post double crochet, and there will be 5 in a row. So there you have your 4 there, and this is 5, and then the remainder 5 are going to be back post double crochet. So this is the neat thing about this, is that my tip for you is that at any point now in the remainder of this hat there will never be more than 5 front post double crochets in a row. And if you can understand that, that will help you then for round number 7 that we're going to start in a moment after we get this done, because it'll help you, because what's going to happen at this point is that we've been going up straight on a straight line, but in round number 7 we're going to start then jetting outward in another direction in order to keep it. So if you can understand that only 5 ever stay in a row, it makes a lot of sense. So here's the repeat pattern, and 5 front post double crochets are going to be in a row this time again, because it's a repeat pattern. So this is your 5th one, and then the remainder is going to be back post double crochet until you get to the next one. So please do that all the way around. This is round number 6. So I'm finishing up round number 6 and just joining it to the first front post double crochet. So let's start off round number 7, and round number 7 is going to be a little bit of a game changer, and let's see what happens in this round. In round number 7, what's going to happen now is that the flat edge that you see here is going to start then going outward. So it's going to be coming out like this. So this one's still going to stay coming out on an angle, and this one is going to start on an angle. So let's begin round number 7, and we're going to chain 3. Remember, it doesn't count as a double crochet. So the very first one this time is going to be a back post double crochet. So we're no longer starting with the front post this time, and the next 5 are going to be front post double crochet in order to keep it in balance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is a back, but it's going to turn into a front this time. So there's my 5 in a row, and then the remainder of the next 5 are going to be back post double crochets. Okay, so this is the next one. 5 are going to be back post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the 5th one is actually the start of the first front post this time, but it is changing to a back post this time, and now the next 5 are going to be front post again. So in this whole round we just have to start off the first one with being a back post, and then the next 5 are front post, the next 5 are back posts, the next front posts are going to be 5. So it's just a matter of just shifting over 1 and keep it in sets of 5. So 5 front post, 5 back post, 5 front post, 5 back post, all the way around. When we come all the way around, because there is 1 back post here, you'll end up with just 4 over here in order to keep it in balance. So do that all the way around, and I'll see you back here, and this is round number 7. So I'm coming up all the way back around, and I do have 4 back post double crochets left in this thing, and that's the right count because there's only a total of 5 back post double crochets in a row, but we started off with doing a back post double crochet, so the 5th one is on the other side of the slip stitch. Okay, so there's your 4, here's your 5th over here. Let's just join to the top of the beginning back post double crochet to finalize off round number 7. So you can see that it's starting to jet over toward the side. Let's move on to round number 8. Round number 8 is very similar. So this time we're going to have 5 front post double crochets in a row and 5 back post double crochets in a row. The trick to this round is that we need to start off, and this time we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then the first 2 this time are going to be back post double crochets. Okay, so the first 2 are back post double crochets, and now we then begin the repeat pattern. So it's going to be 5 front post double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next one is actually a back post that you see here. It's going to pull forward for 5, and then the next 5 are going to be back post double crochets. So this is going to cause that that lightning bolt kind of idea, the twist, to look like it's still twisting because we're just shifting over by 1 stitch. Okay, so we're gonna have, there's 4, the 5th is going to be the first front post double crochet of the last round, and then you carry on. So now 5 front post double crochet, 5 back post double crochet, and continue to do that, and you can start to physically see that it's starting to come up on an angle. Finishing up round number 8, and I will have 3 back post double crochets in a row, and that makes sense because we started off with 2 when we started this round, so the other 2 are on the other side of the slip stitch. So just join to the beginning back post double crochet. Okay, so you can actually really starting to see this come together nicely. Let's move on to round number 9 next. Round number 9, same thing as 8, so chaining up 3. Now this time is that we are going to then put in 3 back post double crochets to start instead of 2. So 3, so 1, 2, and the other one is a front post at this time, but it's gonna pull backward. So now it's a back post. So there's 3, and now the next 5 are gonna be front posts. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And now the next 5 are gonna be back posts. So let's do that. So 1, so it's the same thing that you already know, is that it's gonna be 5 front post double crochets and then 5 back post double crochets, just like it has been. It's just we're shifting over by 1. So there's 4 now there, and this is the 5th, so that one's gonna pull that one back, and then you carry on. So the next 5 are gonna be front posts, and you can see it's really coming out pretty cool. So let's keep moving. This is round number 9. Finishing up round number 9, you're only left with 2 back post double crochets this time around, and that makes sense because we started off with 3 on the other side of the slip stitch. So this concludes off round number 9. Just join it to the beginning top of the back post double crochet. Let's move on to round number 10. Round number 10 is the final round of going up on an angle like this before we do something drastic, and let's cover round number 10 before we do the drastic move after that. Let's begin round number 10. So we're gonna chain up 3. This time instead of doing 3 back post double crochets in a row, it's gonna be 4, and we're gonna carry on in the same fashion where we keep it in 5 and 5. So this time it's 4 in a row for back post double crochet. Okay, and then the next 5 are gonna be front post double crochets. So we can see that we just shifted over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we just have to shift over again. So then the next 5 are gonna be back post double crochets. Okay, so carry on in that same fashion all the way around. So 5 front post double crochets, 5 back post double crochets, and then we'll join at the slip stitch, and then we're gonna do something game changer in round number 11, and that's gonna change the story from this point going forward. Let's finish up round number 10 together, and the last stitch is going to be a back post double crochet in order to keep it in that balance of what we've been doing, because the other 4 are on the other side of the slip stitch. And let's just join it to the top of the beginning back post double crochet. So let's move on to round number 11 next, and round number 11 we're actually gonna do the twists, and I'll show you how to do that next. So here on round number 11, do you see how it has we've been coming up on an angle like this, and then it jets across, and then it will go then straight up on this side, and then it will start building again here. We're going to be on round number 11 here doing this jet across at this point. So we're gonna be changing where we're doing the front and back post double crochets in order to create that, and that's coming up next. So let's begin to do round number 11. This is the final round, by the way. We're gonna start decreasing after this round for the top of the hat, because you're noticing it's getting bigger and bigger. So let's begin. We're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now this time we're going to do the first 5 are going to be front post double crochet. So that's kind of unexpected, isn't it? So we got first 5, and this is that jetting across look that we want. So the first 5 is gonna be front post double crochet, and that includes this one that's already in the front post. And now the next 5 are going to be back post double crochet, and you're going to continue that same repeat pattern going all the way around. So 5 front post double crochet, 5 back post double crochet. The only difference now is that you're just physically, it's not following up like a straight line like it had been before, and that's what's creating the twist look. And it's just a visual, it's nothing more than that, and that's what makes it quite cool. So you're gonna have 5 back post double crochets in a row, and then switch over to 5 front post double crochets. So all of these back posts then get pulled forward. Okay, so please do that for this round. This is round number 10. So please do this for all of round number 11, and then in number 12 we're gonna start decreasing stitches, and then you're gonna notice this is gonna get faster and faster as you carry on for the remainder of the hat. And the final 5 in this round, round number 11, will be back post double crochets. So we can see the twist action has just started. You really can't notice it too much yet, but it will, and just stick with it, and let's begin to do round number 12. Round number 12 we're going to start decreasing as we make our way to the top of the hat. Once you get the last one done, just join it to the beginning front post double crochet, just like this. So you can kinda see it just came up on an angle and then just kind of physically stopped, and we're gonna be doing the next part, round number 12 next. In round number 12 we're going to begin decreasing stitches. So we're gonna be starting to subtract out stitches every repeat pattern this time. So let's chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. So the repeat pattern for this is that the first one is gonna be a front post double crochet like this. So we're gonna now start growing it out. Remember how we started off down here where we just had a point and then we got bigger? We're gonna be doing the same thing for this, but we're gonna be subtracting out stitches. We're going to skip the next available stitch to you, okay, and then we're going to go to the second one over and we're going to back post double crochet all the remainder of the repeat pattern. So there will be a total of 8. Let me just count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yes, there's 8. So there's 8 back post double crochets in a row. So we just have to skip that one right after the first front post double crochet. Let me just count and make sure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8, just like this. Okay, and let's begin again. So do you see how this here is a front post double crochet? That's your signal to let you know that you're in the repeat pattern. So the first one is a front post double crochet. You're skipping the next one and going to the second one over, and the next 8 are going to be back post double crochet. Please do that same repeat pattern all the way around. Let's finish up round number 12, and I came all the way back around, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning of the first front post double crochet. So we're going to continue, and we're going to continue to decrease stitches all the way to the top of the crown of the hat. So let's move on to round number 13 next. So round number 13 we're going to just start off by chaining a 3. Now we have skipped a stitch down here, and we're not even going to worry about it, so make sure that you're not skipping anything extra that you need to. So in round number 13 we're going to start off, and the first 2 are going to be front post double crochets, okay, just like you see. Then we skip the next one, and then the next all the remainder all the way to the repeat pattern over here is going to be back post. So we skip the next one and we go back post double crochet until the repeat starts again. So 2, I'm counting, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6 stitches there, and then it's the repeat pattern again. So the repeat pattern is the first one is a front post double crochet, so is the next one. Okay, so that was a back post, now it's a front post. We skip the next one and then go and do the remainder of the repeat pattern of back post double crochet. So please do that all the way around. The remaining 6 in this particular round, I'm going all the way around, is the back post double crochet, and then we're just going to join it to the top of the first front post double crochet that we started with. So let's end that round, and let's move on to the next one, and let's move on to number 14. Number 14 we're still going to be removing out stitches, so watch what we're going to do. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the first 3 are going to be front post double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, get that one right there. That's your third. Okay, and now we're going to skip 1, and then the remainder, and there's only going to be 4, is going to be back post double crochets before you get to that repeat patterning once again. So that was 2, 3, and 4. Okay, here's the repeat pattern again. So the first 3 are going to be front post double crochet, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip the next one and then double crochet into the or back post double crochet into the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So continue to do that all the way around. This is round number 14. So finishing up round number 14, I'm getting faster and faster because there's less stitches working in a row. The final 4 will be a back post double crochet, and then we'll just join it to the first front post double crochet at the top. Okay, so let's move on to round number 15. There's only a total of 18 rounds, so we're almost done. You can really kind of see this starting to take place, and it's really quite neat. Let's begin round number 15. Let's begin round number 15. We're going to chain up 3. In round number 15, the first 4 are going to be front post double crochets this time. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we skip 1. Okay, and then back post the last 2 of that repeat. So 1 and 2, and then you'll see the front post shows up again. So then the first 4 will be front post double crochet again. So 1, 2, 3, and the next one you've got to pull forward to make it 4. Then you skip 1 and then just back post double crochet in the last 2. Continue to do that all the way around. This is number 15. Okay, coming up all the way around on number 15, and the final 2 are a back post double crochet, and then we just join it to the top of the front post double crochet to start. So we got 15, so we have 3 more rounds to go, and let's move on to round number 16. So for round number 16, it's going to be slightly different, so just watch how we do it. We're going to chain up 3 to start, and then the first 4 are going to be front post double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you would have expected 5 because we've been kind of just gaining by 1, but this time it's only 4. We're going to skip the next one, and it's just 1 back post double crochet in the final one of the repeat. Okay, so then the next one, here's the repeat again, so it's going to be only 4. So 1, 2, these are front post double crochets, 2, this is 3, and 4, and then we skip 1, and then the final one of the repeat pattern is a back post double crochet. Continue to do that all the way around. That's number 16. So finishing up this round, we just have 1 left, a back post double crochet, and then it repeats again, and we just join it to the top of the front post double crochet. Let's move on to round number 17 next, and let's begin. Number 17, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and now to keep the patterning consistent, you notice how we were kind of coming up on an angle here. Number 17, we're going to do the same thing, even though there's only 2 rounds left, which includes this one. The first one is a back post double crochet this time around. Let me just do that properly. Yeah, it happens. You drop a stitch and that's it. So let's try again. So the first one is a back post double crochet, and then the next 3 are front post double crochet this time. So 1, 2, and 3. So you have a back post double crochet that's there. You're going to skip that and immediately just jump into the first one here and convert that into a back post double crochet this time, and then the next 3 are front post double crochet. So that's your repeat pattern. So the first one is a back post and the other 3 are front post. You skip it and then just keep on. So let's do that again. So I've just got that done. So you skip the back post, make the next one a back post, and the next 3 are front posts. Please do that all the way around. When you get all the way back around on number 17, you're going to finish off with the 3 front posts and then just join to the top of the beginning back post double crochet that you started with. So let's move on to round number 18. This is the final round, and then what we have to do then is take the string and then kind of sew it all together shut at the top, and that's really quite simple. Let's move on to round number 18. So let's begin round number 18. We're going to simply chain up 18, and we're going to skip the first back post double crochet, and we're going to do the next 2 as front post double crochets, and they already are front post double crochets, so you can see them there. you're going to skip the next front post double crochet and you're going to back post double crochet into the next back post double crochet. So here's the repeat pattern. The first two front post double crochet are going to be a front post double crochet, and then you skip the last one and just back post double crochet into the next one. Okay, so here's the repeat pattern. The first two are going to be front post double crochets. You're gonna maintain that. You skip the next one and then it's back post double crochet run the other one that's back post already. Continue that same fashion all the way around. So continuing in the same fashion all the way around, when you get all the way around, the final two are going to be the front post double crochet. You're gonna skip over and then just join it to the top of the first one over here. Okay, and that was a front post double crochet. So you're gonna end up with a hole in the top, and what we need to do is leave a very long string, well not too long, and we are going to sew that shut. So I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So let's create this, and we are going to just yarn over. I've already trimmed the yarn from the yarn ball, and I'm gonna pull this tight. So this is the hole that I end up with. So I'm gonna use my darning needle, and I'm going to put that into the eye of the needle. And what I want to do is kind of like a clothesline idea, is where you just kind of go across the outside stitches, okay, all the way around. And then at the end what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that string. So I don't want to pull it all tight yet. I kind of enjoy the process, so I like to pull it all at the same time and really pull it shut. Okay, so I'm just going along, and I'm gonna go back to the all the way around to the start. Now this pattern has a pom-pom on the top. I'll provide a free tutorial available in the article if you would like to do that. I won't show it here in the tutorial because I already have that done. So once you have it all the way around, just pull on it, and this will pull that all nice and shut at the top. And then what I like to do, other than dropping my darning needle, is that I like just to make sure I look at the hole and just kind of go diagonally across in one direction. Kind of don't be scared to pull things apart if you have to, and then I just go in the other direction across, and just do that a couple times just to really kind of secure it into position. And then I like just to feed it through like it's knotting itself onto it. And then what I like to do then is just stick the needle through the hat and into the underside, and let me just turn it like this. Okay, so it's coming out through the top, and what I want to do then is that I just want to secure it and tie it into a knot on the underside. Like so. And then I take the loose end that I'm left with, and then I just kind of feed it into some fibers like so, and then I can just safely trim. So I now just turned it so that I can see the outside of the hat, and I noticed some people put a nice single crochet line along that. It's not required in the pattern, but I noticed some people do it. Let's see what it looks like at the seam line. Where is it? Right there. And there's my seam line coming all the way up just like you see it here. And actually it looks really good. It looks really good. And some people do put a single crochet along the bottom in order to stabilize it. Now if you end up with a gap like that, I would probably take a darning needle and just kind of just pull it together if you wish. But this is how you do the twist hat. It really is a nice hat, and it really is quite interesting. You can do a pom-pom. We do have video tutorials on how to make a homemade pom-pom, or you can buy a ready-made one if you want to, and that you can buy ready-made ones on Yarnspirations.com if you wish as well. So this is how you do the twist, and this is a great free hat kind of cabling pattern. And until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me today. We'll see you. Bye-bye.